Oh, rain, 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 a storm it comes our way. I've been so looking forward to Money Game 3. I know in the last video I said that I'm going to do part 3 immediately, but I couldn't, time issues, so I think 3 days have passed. Since then, I've not just edited the first 2 parts, but I've also listened to Money Game 2 repeatedly. I went through the 10 steps of the she sells seashells on a seashore. That's breaking my tongue. And I paid a little closer attention to the meaning behind the song and the instrumentalization, so I think I'm prepared. And I know Ren's not gonna disappoint. I'm really curious to see what part 3 looks like. This is 9 minutes? Oh my god. Alright. Let's lean back then. This time on a piano. It's always this dude playing with the mask on. And I always thought, in the first video I thought it's going to be Ren under it, but then I realized that these are one takes, so it can't be. But I think we will never figure out who it is. It needs to be a metaphorical character representing the dark elite. Samuel? Are you Samuel? Ren, is that you, mate? I think it is. Dude, the way I'm invested in this video, I feel like I'm watching a movie. There he is.
Tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. 1 year old and his first words were mine, mine, gimme. 2 years old he was walking, 3 years old walking quickly. 4 years old he was running round the pavements of his city. 5 years old and his daddy told him, listen here son, you gotta learn to be a man.
Fuck no, it's always the parents.
6 years old and he's reading, writing.
We're counting again, so I really need to pay close attention. That's why I'm not saying so much, and that's why I'm also adding a comment here and there, because I don't want to stop the flow, otherwise I can't focus. I, of course, wanted to talk about his voice, but I'm just gonna make it quick. So we started with classical piano, then went into, it might actually be rock, a rock ballad. What would have been started if Ren wouldn't go there and stop the pianist playing. And eventually he started singing, and it starts off with a ooh, soft ooh, but then there was this one note where he just added a little bit of blues again, a little rasp in there, and that gives me shivers. Now go back to the counting. So Jimmy is 1 and his first words were mine, mine, gimme.
1 years old and his first words were mine, mine, gimme. 2 years old he was walking, 3 years old walking quickly. 4 years old he was running round the pavements of his city. 5 years old and his daddy told him, listen here son, you gotta learn to be a man. A man, he works for what he wants. 6 years old and he's reading, writing, top of the bunch. And when he's 7, his progression made him student number 1. 8 years old and he's praised for unusual grades. 9, his parents paid for private school to nurture the flame. 10, 11, 12, 13, he ascends and ascends. His daddy tells him, son, money is the means to all ends. 14, solving complex mathematical equations. At 15, IQ 150, still elevating. 16, he develops complex software code that detects weaknesses in cybersecurity protocols. 17, and he sells his vision, keeping the share. Not yet an adult, but he's practically a millionaire. 18, and
oh my god, this is so good. The tap on the shoulder as well. It reminds me of House of Cards when Frank Underwood does this knock on wood thing. That was so much meaning behind it. It's a scary coolness that I can't really explain.
He ascends and ascends. His daddy tells him, son, money is the means to all ends. 14, solving complex mathematical equations. At 15, IQ 150, still elevating. 16, he develops complex software code that detects weaknesses in cybersecurity protocols. 17, and he sells his vision, keeping the share. Not yet an adult, but he's practically a millionaire. 18, and his daddy tells him, now you're a man. This world don't give a damn about you, so take all that you can. 19, he turns a profit, stocks and shares, invest in product. 20, double down deposits. 21, his income rockets. 22, he learns the truth is just an obstacle to wealth. If you manipulate the data, then the lie will sell itself. 23, a life of luxury, crystal and coke.
Wasn't it Churchill that said that I only believe in statistics that I faked myself? It's a vague quote because I'm not sure what the exact wording is, but he said something like that. And what Ren just explains here reminds me of that.
Profit, stocks and shares, invest in product. 20, double down deposits. 21, his income rockets. 22, he learns the truth is just an obstacle to wealth. If you manipulate the data, then the lie will sell itself. 23, a life of luxury, crystal and cocaine. 24, he makes the Forbes list, they're applauding his name. 25, and his daddy tells him, listen here son,
what
while
next?
you're sitting in that palace, that don't mean that you won.
Of course
26,
not.
a business shift, he switches business to arms. He's 27, dealing nuclear and shells in Iran. 28, inside the Senate, money bought him a seat. He's 29, a role of counsel in the president's suite. Now he's 30, his daddy says you're losing the race. You're just a servant to the king, not even in second place. 31, a big maneuver for his daddy's approval, moving imports over borders from the exports out of Cuba. 32, moving grams, growing kilos to tons. He's 33, filling warehouses with powder and guns. 34, turf war with nobody to stop it. Blind eye from the po-po inside of his pocket.
The intonation, again, artistically, when he says, from this pocket, that he's a storyteller. And sometimes I feel like I can't focus because of TikTok and everything that is pressed into a 10 seconds frame of content I consume. Ren proves me wrong. I can indeed focus. I could watch this whole thing without stopping, and hopefully you're not mad at me for doing so. But there's so much input, and I don't want to forget what I want to say about it.
$35, he gets a call. I'm sorry son, but it's your father. Had a heart attack, I'm sorry, he's gone. 36, getting pissed off, abusing his product. 37, eyes glazed, disposition demonic. 38, with a prostitute, a moment of passion, heating up a silver spoon and then chasing the dragon. 39, getting reckless and hungry for power. Daddy's words are still driving him to kill and devour. Makes a move against the cartel, but the strategy's flawed. They retaliate and leave him in a hospital ward. A bullet buried in his vertebra and one in his leg. The doctor sighs and says, I don't think you'll be walking again. Fuck.
Oh shit. Okay, to summarize, it's always The roots are always in the parents. There are unfortunately too many cases, well, he's explaining an extreme where the person's becoming a millionaire. There are so many people who as adults are chasing the ideals of their father or mother. I have a 2-year-old son, and since I'm a dad, I realize that I have to be really careful what I'm telling my son about expectations. First and foremost, I expect him to not hurt himself, so that's where I'm interfering. But apart from that, I would never expect him to prove anything to me. Whatever it is he wants to do, I'm fine. Personally, I have had my own share of experience with the opposite, where expectations were set. Otherwise, you're not being taken seriously in your own family. And that sucks. That drives people mad. It took me years of, I wouldn't say therapy, but let's call it a personal treatment. I had to do years of thinking and re-evaluating what is normal, just because the beliefs that have been put into me by my family.
A bullet buried in his vertebra and one in his leg. The doctor sighs and says, I don't think you'll be walking again. Fuck.
So what now? Lost his purpose? He's not serving his dad anymore. Oh my god, I'm gonna dream about these guys.
Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. He was
Oh
40,
my god.
And he cursed the words, mine, mine, gimme. 41 he wasn't walking, 42 not walking quickly, 43 never running round the pavements of his city, 44 inside a palace with a mountain of gold. But those riches turn to rubble when perspective evolves. Weighing heavy on his conscience is the value of gold. Lamborghini for a life, trading money for souls. Jimmy followed the code inside the land of the free. Put your hand inside the cookie jar, take more than you need. And his example is exaggerated versions of me. And it's a version of him, and it's a version of she, and it's a version of you. There's no escaping the blame. The way we live is parasitic. Fuck the money and fame. Cut the music. This isn't entertainment. This is real life. The way we live is lunacy. Community, it declines. Hyperpolarized, always fighting, then we divide. Truth is less important than the money that we designed. Money's an invention. Politics from our invention. They all come from people's ideas. Did I mention? Border's an invention. Law and order fuel the tension. It leads to people killing each other. My solution?
Sorry guys, I don't know how to react to this. I'm blown away, but I have shivers. I'm in, I would say, a positive shock. This is phenomenal.
Everything is subject to change. We could build utopias if individuals were taught to use their brains. But if we teach kids in schools to always be sheep and put themselves before the herd if there's more money for me, then there's no future I see where the humans survive with parasites inside a petri dish with cannibal minds. Mold will grow upon the surface and consume till it dies. And our fate could be the same without this story to the wise.
I'm so happy he's talking about schools as well. What a fucked up system.
"45, Jimmy comes home out of the rain,
Oh my
soaking wet
God.
upon a wheelchair, drinking again. He is everything he wants, he is fortune and fame. He's a fortunate fool with an unfortunate fate. With a 45 caliber aimed at his brain. 45 a fitting number cause his age is the same. Here's the words of his father, it's such a damn shame. Then he presses on the trigger of a money game.
For a second, I thought I'm gonna cry. That was such a brutal ending. Whew. I actually don't know if I need a break or not. Okay, school. No, the ending. Let's start with the ending. 45, he's about to commit suicide and thinks back to what his father said. What a shame. The disappointment he must feel towards his son. God, it makes me so angry. Like I said, since I'm a dad myself, I get brutally emotional when it's about kids. Before that, I didn't really care. I was like, I thought personally that all I cared was animals. It's just these horror stories that what little simple things or a trauma that someone has and passes on to their son or daughter can define their entire life. It's what's really scary. And it's so nice to have these topics in this frame, because how he adds music and even takes away music. He at one point said, cut the music. Then he looks into the camera and sends a direct message. Artistically, I can't compare this to anything. This is why Ren is unique. And then I have to remember that this is a one take as well. So everyone needed to stand there somewhere, not in the way of the camera, then appear at the right time, sit down with the mask on, play a bit, then in the right time stop. I didn't see any cuts. Did you see any cuts in this? So this is a rehearsed performance involving multiple people, the camera work even at the beginning with the piano where the camera was doing loopings. From that to the chair that has been pushed to him to sit down, then he was pushed in the chair. Okay, there's no need for me to summarize the entire 9 minutes that I just saw, but this money game trilogy, it beats a bunch of trilogies I've seen, like actual movies. I'm getting closer of understanding of what is in Ren's mind musically. So basically, how he translates these thoughts, putting them into rhyme schemes and an instrumentalization, that's the talent. It's not just that he's a good rapper, a good singer, plays multiple instruments, writes lyrics. It's not just that. It's something much more difficult and much rarer, that he can translate such awful topics, like topics that it's really difficult to talk about even. During a conversation, I couldn't formulate my thoughts in such a way. Now, of course, he sits down and takes his time to write a song, but to get so much emotion connected to serious topics, that we can actually have a song about politics, about power, about greed in this format, I'm so happy that I saw this. Well, I don't look happy now, that's because I'm still in shock. With this money game trilogy, I thought my reactions are lame, that it's not entertaining enough, but I can't really fake it. So I'm gonna put it out there. If you don't like it, then sorry for that, but I'm genuinely speechless. And that being said, my name is MarCee. Thank you so much for recommending the money game trilogy. I think the next one is also a trilogy, The Tale of Screech. I'm not sure about the name, but I will find it, and that's probably the next one we're doing from Ren. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon.